Hey guys, welcome to Tommo Tinkers. In this episode, I will be continuing with Bloodfall Catacombs. This is video 12. In this video, I'm going to address some of the issues with how the game looks at the moment. It isn't presented super well, and there are some issues, like I can demonstrate here. If we type inventory, it just comes up, you are carrying, whereas it should really say, you are not carrying anything. If we pick up the key, pick up isn't a command, though it could be. It would only take a few seconds to make that work. And now if we type inventory, it looks a lot better. So the context is important there. Before we continue, always remember, if you're enjoying my videos, please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you get notifications whenever I release a new video. Okay, and with that, let's start with the problem I've just demonstrated. I've not thought about the design here, the software design, how I'm going to approach this problem. I'm just riffing. I'm just going to do what looks best and hopefully isn't really bad. Let's close some of these old files from our last session. So we need to take a look at the inventory command, I guess. Handle inventory command. So no matter what it does, it always says you are carrying. And this comes from the get things description, which I believe is just a list of, it's just a list of the objects that you're carrying, or the things that you are carrying. Okay, so we'll fix this off the bat, but soon I want to get rid of these write lines that we've got proliferating the code and making it kind of dirty. I'll explain in more detail why I think it's dirty, but we'll get rid of it. We'll address the problem soon, I promise. So first of all, we want to check if the player actually has any objects. More than 0. Now we can use the link.any method, which will tell us if the sequence has any elements in it. And it's probably a lot more efficient than count, because when it gets to the first item, it'll know it can just return true, because 1 is more than 0. So it knows there's at least 1, so there must be some. Otherwise, you are not carrying anything. Find some stuff. Let's get rid of that. I've not quite decided on the tone I want my game to take yet. Well, we seem to have fixed this, so take key. I didn't want to do that. We'll test if the regular command still works. Of course it does. We'll drop the key. Inventory. We're not carrying anything. Okay, that works fine. What is this suggestion that ReSharper is offering to me? Convert to a method call with a conditional expression inside. Oh dear. Actually, that looks kind of fine. Except we're getting rid of the write line. Okay, so first and foremost, we need to decouple everything, our whole game, from the System.Console class. We want to inject our own display logic in between, or at least retain the capacity to do that rather than directly calling the .NET System.Console.WriteLine static method. And this should be reasonably easy to do. What have we got in console utils? Set window title to current location. I'm not happy with that method, but who cares? We'll make our display namespace the text displayer, and it's most likely going to be a static class. So I don't mind here having the dependency on System.Console. And we can just put the write line in here. That's fine because we can delegate all calls that were to write line to now to this display line. So we can do any other manipulation that we want to on the inside the display line. Okay. Let's find usages of write line. How many do we have? 12. Well, this is not good. Let's get rid of using use display line instead. And we'll do the same thing here. This is a refactoring, and the actual true definition of refactoring is improving a program's structure without changing how the program runs. So it will do exactly the same things it did before, but now its structure is more maintainable, which really means it's easier to change. Okay. So we've got rid of the 12 usages in handlers. We actually have more usages than I thought. Display line. I can't seem to figure out what I want to do here. So we're bringing our namespace there. I mean, displayer shouldn't even be the name of this class, really. I mean, the core game logic doesn't really know or care that these things are being displayed. It could just be, think of it more as an output from the game engine rather than the game engine telling us to display something. Because the game engine doesn't really care what we do with these strings. It's up for us to display them. Just get rid of the rest of these. This 3 in this one. You notice, like, the longer I left this, I mean, I could have done this in the first lesson, but because I left it until now, it's become a much bigger task. Okay, so that's the key done. It's in the locked door. Not that one. Displayer. Yes, that will be the one. Change the display line. Display line, display, blah blah blah. Bear with me. 3 more to go. Ah. Display line. We still need the System.Console in this one because we're manipulating the title of the console window. We also have this, which is it's not a line that we're displaying. It's just a sequence of characters without the new line symbol. There's also a read line here. I'm not going to worry too much about these ones at the moment. This is localized and it's in a class called console utils, so I don't mind the dependency on the console here too much right now. And of course we have the display line method itself, which obviously needs a reference to the console. And then we just have our game intro. And that's done. Okay. The other thing we want to fix, if for example we go into, or have to go into the laboratory to actually show this problem, take the key, go north, use key with door, use door. Okay, so if we look in here, in this room there are, well, what the hell does that mean? It should be say, maybe we shouldn't even display anything if there isn't anything in here. Also, if there's only one thing in there, like if for example if we go south and then we go south again, if we look in here, in this room there are skeleton. It should say in this room there is a skeleton. So let's take a look at the look command. No pun intended. Handle look command. Okay, so it delegates to the game state.look, which delegates to the look description. This may not be structured in the best way. Okay, so it comes back down to the get things description. Yeah, this shouldn't go here. The thing container shouldn't really be describing what the how the things in it should be displayed on the screen. That's silly. That's a view concern, and the thing container is part of the game engine. It's part of the model, so That doesn't really make sense. So we'll get a list of the things that are in the room. At the same time, it shouldn't go here either, because this suffers exactly the same problem. And really, should it go even in the game state? Probably not. Should go in the handler itself. We'll resolve everything we need in here. The things in room. Value and things. So if there's none, is there a none command? No. So if not any, we should just return, we shouldn't show anything. Actually, that's not true. We still want to show the description of the room. So we'll just show that. We'll alias this out actually, because we're gonna need it. Actually, no. We can just put it here because it gets displayed every time. So if there's nothing in the room, we'll just return. Now, returns the only element SQL or the default if the SQL is empty. This method could throw an exception if there is more than one element in the SQL, so we don't want that. We'll get a count instead. So if the count is 0, do nothing. If the count is 1, in this, we'll display this message. In this, I think I made a mistake by using enumerables. We should have used some kind of read-only indexable collection. You cannot do this with switch statements, C#. I was thinking maybe I'd do it with pattern matching, but I'm not sure of the syntax. Maybe it will. Maybe it will fix it for us. And if we get to here, the count must be at least 2, so now we can just, in this room there are ... Ooh. Things in room, the aggregate A. B. New line. B. Why does it not like this? A.name and B.name. Now it's expecting a sorry, I'm being really stupid. T for thing, and we'll return T.name, and then we'll aggregate that. And we get rid of this silliness over here, which is the unfortunate result of a recent brain fart. Can we just enumerate this? What have I just done? We'll enumerate it here. I don't. This might be a premature optimization, but I don't really care about that much. I'm just sick of seeing those squigglies. I'm not too worried about the performance of this program too much, especially with the limited amount of information we've got. We've got the same problem here, the thing's description, but that's okay because we can alias this out. We can pass in a enumerable of things, some prompts, and we can make it into a method, and we'll just put it as a things helper. But we should make the method before we try and do that. Display string. So we're going to pass in an enumerable of thing, a string, none, we'll provide default arguments there. This one should be displayed, so I don't know why it's upset with the I should be happy with that, yeah. Okay, so let's paste in our code. We don't need this anymore. We'll just call this things. Back to the old enumerable, so we're going to get the same. This is part of the old method, so we want this. We still want that, but we don't need this bit. Can we initialize this as string.empty? I'm not sure. No, we cannot. I always forget the rules. Can we do that? Yes. Rather than returning null, have to do checking on that instead. I think I need to rename these methods. Sorry, these parameters. Otherwise, we'll return what we had before. But we'll combine them. Okay, let's go back to this. Get rid of this nonsense. And now we can just game state the current room. We can just display the string that get display string passes back. But we can also pass in display if none. There is nothing in this room. If this one, there is a I'm not sure how that's going to look. In this room there are ... In this room there is a... And of course we don't need that anymore. Okay, so quite a bit of refactor in there, but we've simplified the look command, and we're also going to simplify this command as well. The inventory, things in the inventory, the display string, and this will be not carrying anything. You are carrying a, or you are carrying that, because it'll be on the next line. And it's not happy with that. Why are you no happy? Display string, display f1, display sum. We're missing a closing parenthesis. Okay, let's see if it compiles. Miraculously, it does. Okay, so let's look. Okay, so we're missing a line break there. In this room, there are skeleton and key. But that's okay. We'll just put a /n here, because that was previously display line call, so that makes sense. In this room there are, if we pick up the key and we do a look, in this room there is a Bloodfall Catacomb thing, like things.thing. Well, that sounds completely terrifying. Also, I seem to have Little boo boo here. And it's supposed to be this. I'm supposed to use the value we passed in. This should probably have a better result now. We'll take the key because we can't pick it up, and we'll do a log. In this room there is a things.thing. Thing.single. That's name. Normal service will soon be resumed. Don't worry, guys. Pick up. Right, I've had enough of this. Where did I put it? It's in the command parser. Ha! Pick up key. Look. And soon there is a skeleton. Inventory. You are carrying a key. You got a key. Inventory. Not carrying anything. Okay. All seems to work. If we look now and assume that I don't like that. It doesn't read very well, I suppose. In this room there are skeleton and key. Let's change it. Up here. There are some objects in this room. Oh, I've got a better idea. Indulge me. There is a I'll just F12 this, but use the menu instead of pressing the button. Not exactly sure how to do this. Can we do it like this? A skeleton and key. Okay, so what if there was actually another item in the room? How would that look? Let's add a banana. Because why not? Ah, we didn't add it to the room. Of course, the fruit delivery has not happened yet. Add the banana here. Look. There is a skeleton and key and banana. Yes, well, quite so. That didn't really work, did it? I always get the syntax of aggregate wrong. Let me look it up. We need to provide a seed value. Okay, so this is the current and this is what is to be added. So there is a so the current items, which will be the skeleton. So there is a skeleton and a key. This should be better. Look, there is, oh there, in this room there is go back to the handlers. In this room there is right. The problem is we're going to always end up with see, current is empty at the start, I guess. I'll tell you what, let me think on this and I will come back and try and make this work later. But we'll make the message a little bit better for now. In here are the following things. I imagine it's a little bit disappointing, but this is how these videos work. They're not planned. If I run into a problem, I may not be able to solve it in the video. I might have to do some research between videos. You know, that's just the way it is. But we'll keep the banana because I quite like it. Look at banana. Banana disguised as an apple. Yes, indeed. Okay, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you for watching, guys.